Hey there, it's Jody Dana with Create Kids Club, and I'm here today to share with you some gluten-free Thanksgiving recipe ideas and tips to help you get through the holidays if you have a loved one with celiac disease or gluten intolerance. Today I'm going to make a cheesy potato recipe that is just a little bit healthier than the traditional version that you might be interested in trying. It works great any day of the week, all year long. I wanted to sit down and share with you some simple recipe swaps for some of your favorite gluten-free recipes. First off, the turkey. Turkeys are naturally gluten-free, but some of them are injected with items that are not. So when you're buying a turkey, just make sure it is labeled gluten-free. Next up, stuffing. All you need to do is swap the regular bread or breadcrumbs for gluten-free. Now, I know it gets difficult if you're somebody who likes to buy the prepackaged bread, but it is super simple to make your own. You can take gluten-free bread, lay it onto baking sheets, let it sit out for a day. You want it to get dried, crumble it up, and now you have your own gluten-free bread to use in stuffing. Make sure that the rest of the ingredients you're using in there are also gluten-free. Things to watch for would be the chicken broth. In my house, I use chicken broth a lot over the holidays. That is an item that you do need to find one that is labeled gluten-free. If you're buying a pre-made gravy, check to make sure if you can find a brand that's gluten-free. If you're making it at home, instead of using flour to thicken it, you can use gluten-free flour, or you could use cornstarch, or even arrowroot powder is another thickening option that are all gluten-free. A green bean casserole. In the Midwest, that is a staple on our tables. And one of the main ingredients in there is a cream of mushroom soup. That does contain gluten, so you just need to find a brand that is gluten-free. This year, Campbell's has a gluten-free product on the market, so it is easy to find in your grocery stores. Next up would be mashed potatoes, which are, again, naturally gluten-free. It's what we add to them, so watching the chicken broths and any seasonings that may not be gluten-free. Then we have pies. Maybe you want to make your loved one your favorite pie crust gluten-free. If you don't have a gluten-free home and you are mixing regular flours in your mixer and on your counter and on your utensils, I would not suggest you try to make your loved one a gluten-free pie crust. It will be cross-contaminated and likely they will get sick. So the alternative is that I would suggest is buying a prepackaged pie crusts. They are actually quite delicious. They're simple to use, and then you can make your favorite pies that way, checking the ingredients to make sure that what you're making your pie with is also gluten-free. Same with dinner rolls. I wouldn't suggest making them from scratch if your home is not gluten-free, but they do make a few different varieties in the grocery stores you can find, or if you have a gluten-free bakery in town, call them and you can likely order some dinner rolls through them as well. I'm also going to show you how to find some of the gluten-free recipes on the Create Kids Club website so you can easily have access to recipes that might work for your holiday season. Hi there. I'm here to show you how to utilize the Create Kids Club website. You go to your web browser and type in createkidsclub.com. It's going to bring you to this page, which is our main landing page. And you just scroll down until you find the gluten-free Thanksgiving recipes. This is changed out for each season, so in a few weeks you will find Christmas recipes here too. So keep coming back to check for more. Click on the See More page and it's going to bring you into our category section of all the Thanksgiving recipes that we have on this website. So if you scroll through, you can see if there's anything that you are interested in trying out this year. These are tried and true recipes that my family loves. This is the recipe we made today. This is my daughter's favorite recipe. And you'll see that we have a large variety from desserts to vegetable recipes to stuffings. This one here is my mom's stuffing recipe. I highly recommend it. I have converted it to be a gluten-free recipe and it is extremely delicious along with being simple. Then let's scroll to this page. This sweet potato crunch recipe is the most popular recipe on the website come this time of the year. So it is tried and true. I would highly recommend giving that recipe a try. You can head back to the main page. While you're here, we'd love it if you subscribe to Create Kids Club. you will get a weekly newsletter delivered to your inbox where you could try all of our new recipes along with other goodies that we send out each week. And we really hope to see you there. Thanks. We're going to make cheesy potatoes that are just tweaked a little bit to be a little bit healthier than the traditional version. We use Greek yogurt and cream cheese rather than butter and sour cream. So you can serve this recipe any day of the week. So we're going to start by mixing some of the ingredients in the bowl here. We're going to start with the Greek yogurt. Next we're going to add the cream cheese. We use 4 ounces. Next up is the milk. We're going to use 3/4 cup. I tend to use 1%. So after the milk, we use 3/4 cup of chicken broth, being gluten-free, which is written clearly on the container, which makes it easier for people who are not accustomed to looking for gluten-free. Next up is our seasonings. We are going to use a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. We're going to add 8 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I always like using sharp cheddar because it just adds a little bit more flavor. Then we're going to start to stir this up. Alright, now we're going to add 30 ounces of shredded hash browns. And we love the Orita, they are gluten-free. Sometimes when you bring these out of your freezer, they're stuck together in clumps like this, but sometimes a lot bigger clumps than that. You can use a kitchen mallet to break them up in the bag before opening them. That works very well. Alright, now we're just going to stir all of this together. Okay, let's get our pan ready. We're going to spray this with non-stick spray. Then we're going to just pour the potatoes into the pan. Once you have them in the pan, we are going to add another 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese. So I have my oven preheated to 350 and we are going to cook these for 1 hour. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I hope to see you at createkidsclub.com.